Start and Transforming Media, the Disability Channel, and the PAC Channel for allowing us to have this show on their platforms. And I guess back to you, Kurt.
Right, again, we are coming out as World of Ability podcast show. We are out on okay. All right, so I'm Kurt Roskoff, and we are getting the beginnings all synchronized here. We are in our mobile unit out in Wisconsin, and so we're traversing the rural areas here, and we have our podcast assistant here, my wife Sue Roskoff, helping things behind the scenes. We have our podcast engineer Emily Gomer, and again, these shows are inspired through the disability community, through disability advocacy, and with that, we are giving full consideration and putting at the front of the line people with intellectual and developmental disabilities, the deaf community, blind community, people with physical disabilities, those living in chronic pain, everyone with a mental health diagnosis, and folks with a goal of substance use reduction. And I do point out, it is good awareness that with the Americans with Disabilities Act, that people who have a chemical sensitivity are protected, and those that have a sensitivity to EMF waves, electromagnetic fields. Just to give a little example that, you know, there is a little bit of checking in that we encourage people to do to make sure that they are considering all Americans with disabilities protected by the Americans with Disabilities Act. And so with that, just a little bit of coordination for the show. Just checking in here. We have Emily set as Zoom host as we continue with this production. Yeah, so we want to have Emily set as host so that if we do have any technical difficulties while we're out on the road, that Emily will make sure from home base that everything keeps on going with or without us in the car. So our ability car moving around across the state highways of Wisconsin. So Emily, can you give us a little background? Emily, do you have any information from LinkedIn or websites? You know, with our guest today, Emily, can you go ahead and take care of introductions? That'd be great.
With hold on. So with you know, Khalil is in the health industry. Hold on. So Vince is in Hawaii. And is with the innovative organization. And is a project visitation volunteer program consultant in Hawaii. And Khalil is out in California.
That's right, not too far away from Hawaii, just on the big main island here. Thank you. So I'm doing multiple things, and I did want to join you, and I appreciate the invite. Yeah, we want to create the ability from disability. I'll just share a little bit with myself. My grandmother had polio before the vaccines, back in whatever time that was. And she slowly became debilitated over her lifetime and me knowing her. And then that's what got me into healthcare. She ended up losing her ability to walk and had a lot of caregivers at home. And that's what got me interested in helping others, truly. She graduated from State College when she was 73 years old and wheelchair bound. So I believe in connecting with people and creating growth. And I work for a big multi-billion-dollar conglomerate named Kaiser Permanente, which is also in Hawaii. It's in California. It's it's a growing organization. I'm just a union employee there, but I understand the business model and being philanthropic and creating community resources. So I love what you and Kurt and everyone is doing here. And, we can continue that process by just simply connecting with anybody and helping them in any way, shape, or form. So thank you for inviting me. You can ask any questions. I'm here, but I'm doing multiple things, as you can hear. I'm always multitasking and connecting. So thank you so much, Emily, Kurt, everyone, Vince, and blessings and mahalo.
I guess I get to go too. My name is Vince Abramo. I'm with Bamboo Shoot. I'm a speaker, trainer, and coach, and I have my own consulting company. I do consult with several nonprofits, especially for children in the foster care system and for the elderly in Hawaii. I do help with businesses and organizations to get to a healthy dialogue in their offices, and I help create resolving conflict in the businesses. I do have a disability. I only have one leg since birth. I have been always advocating for people with disabilities, whether it's cognitive, mental, or anything that they may deem that they may be different. So I've had a lot of times when that was like little microaggressions that were coming towards me and how I handled it. So I talk about a lot about how to handle those microaggressions and how the offices work with people with disabilities. Thank you so much, Emily and Kurt, for having me. Thank you, Khalil.
That's a Hawaii thing. I know a lot of Hamos, a lot of Polynesians, a lot of Poly people. Hey, you know the kind. Speak a little pidgin too. But anyway, yeah. So what's the topic for today? I can jump in and out. What kind of questions do you have? Like I'm building a lot of things right now. I'm on this call to talk about raising capital, raising money, so that way we have the ability to do more for people. I mean, that's, people make money. It's not the other way around. And that creates resource, which gives us the ability to learn, get more access to education and resources that allow us to thrive. But I'm not trying to, I want to say, live better, because thrive is a slogan of Kaiser. So, but I love the company. I've been there for 18 years. And I love to serve, people that need extra help. I myself, I do have a disability. I was injured in a car accident in 2017, and I've been rehabilitating ever since. So I have chronic pain. I have a lot of things that I deal with, but I'm also connected to a lot of professionals that, doctors, physical therapists, psychologists, psychiatrists, all the people that are the support team. Now, the goal for me is to create the ability to give more access, to eliminate the cost or eliminate the barrier to this access to whoever's group. And I like what you're doing there with your group, Vince, because that way, we have a resource in another geographic area, but also we can do, as long as we can connect online and through Zoom and through other social medias, we can definitely connect people and make life a little bit easier and be that support, be that I like to say health ambassador. And so, it's just amazing to participate. Of course, I met Kurt, who brought me to meet Emily through the Happy Networking project, which is a global co-op, which allows anybody to bring their business or whatever they're offering to connect to other people that they can learn and grow with and create money with, and also pay you for doing so through a share economy. So, I'm all about financing and trying to figure out creative strategies to build capital, to build money and resource for people. And, that's the beginning. So what else can we do today for each other, with each other in all the ways? So, yeah, thanks again. Questions or comments, anything you want, just ask away. How about Vince?
Emily,
Maybe-
what do we,
Go ahead.
excuse me, just real quick. Emily, what did you have planned for today? Can you guide us through it? Emily, is Emily on? She's not on. Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, Kurt.
No, I was waiting for you. Take it away.
I guess maybe they already sort of they was gonna say they wanted to kind of talk about who they are, what they do, that kind of thing. Like Khalil, what exactly do you do at your like facility?
Sure, my current role. So right now I'm a patient transporter aide. That's my title. But as for licensures and certifications, I'm a nurse, EMT, phlebotomist, massage therapist, computer technician. I've studied in so many different areas because I love to learn and I love life. And what that does, it allows me to be a smarter person, to be able to share what I know. Because if you don't share what you know, then you're kind of not using it. So that's why I'm working different departments. So right now I help people to their appointments that may have a limited function. They're not able to move themselves to long distances. Literally, the campus that I'm on is huge. So I do a lot of walking and I give people my legs. You know, I say, here, you can have them. Where do you want to go? And so I push people around. I talk to them. I tell them about the health plan. From my 18 years of experience, I'm the perfect person for the job. So I have a great job. But in my private time, I like to network. I like to connect with people. I like to find out what other people are doing, to learn about them and then share that with other people, because then that makes you more interesting when you're able to say, hey, I know this person and they're great and they have a lot to offer, and maybe they can make a connection for you. But I also want to support that. So that's why I'm focused on creative strategies and partnerships that were integral to like the company that I'm studying, the company that I work in. So anything, a job that you have, it's just a skill that you're doing to help somebody else. But then what's the next step? You have to create something for yourself, an entity. Then you have to get funded. Then there's many parts of it. So that's my business. I want to help people get themselves structured and formed in a way that they're going to start earning money so they can do more of what they're most passionate about. So they can have a better quality of life and have access to whatever's created. I mean, that's what life is truly about. Life is abundant and prosperous and wonderful, even with the hard things that we go through sometimes. So I want to help people do that. I want to show them how and be a good friend. I mean, my name Khalil is Arabic and it means friend. Literally translates to friend. It goes deeper than that, but if we have a direct conversation, I can explain. It also means Charlie. So you can call me Charlie if you want to. I know the Hamos, they call me Kaliki Rafiki. I don't know what that means, but but I love it. Sometimes they call me Kala. They call me Kalau or Kalihi. So there's like, I have a whole bunch of names and I love it. So yeah, let me segue into maybe Vince, you can share some of this, correct my my knowledge a little bit. That would help me out a lot. So thank you.
Sure, no problem. So I am not Hawaiian, but we honor the Hawaiian culture and all of it included in that. So I grew up with Hawaiian auntie, and we want to make sure that we follow the protocol and processes honoring the Hawaiians. So that's my little thing about Hawaii. But what I do is encourage businesses to have a healthy dialogue and to create peace in the organization. And that looks like in a lot of different ways. But I also provide brain health training through Dr. Amen. So for my master's in public administration, I have my certification in conflict resolution and nonprofit management, also with John Maxwell and Neuro Encoding Institute. I do provide classes for the brain health training. I also provide classes for conflict resolution if you'd like to learn more about how to deal with conflict with another person, and also providing you with confidence, whether it's in sales or anything like that, if you need to do public speaking or inter-office communication.
Emily, are you with us?
Yeah. Do you have any questions, comments, anything, Kurt?
Well, Vince, when you say conflict, can you give us kind of a short list of handful of different examples of the type of conflicts you're addressing?
It mostly is within in the offices. A lot has to do with remote offices, and I have several companies that are in several different states. And so there's a lot of disconnect. And how do you create that connection with your staff or even your supervisors? And how do you have that connection with person? Same with maybe a conflict with someone that disagrees with you in the organization, that feels like we are not coming from the same beliefs. So what is your ladder of inference? What are you learning about the other person, knowing that your pool of data may be coming from when you were growing up, when your experiences, what you learned in school, right? So going up and down the ladder of ladder inference, understanding the other person first and understanding yourself and how you approach conflict is that I've seen a lot of organizations flip that script in their organizations, and they have been able to really thrive in their communication with each other. So there's a lot of different types of conflict, yes. And what it comes all down to is knowing who you are and knowing who the other person is.
I love that. That's so necessary to just to be present, to figure people out, to help them see what they may not see, but also help guide them in their own processing. I love studying mental health, physical health, emotional health, financial health. I mean, that's the person. And then when you go into what people need, the hierarchy of needs, when you start studying some of the other greats, Piaget, Maslow, Erickson, Freud, Jung, you start going down that path of these people that the wisdom of the ages, and keeping it very simple. That's sometimes I have a difficulty of doing that and finding my own way. And so, I may be able to use your service, like I need to figure things out myself, so that's amazing. It's this, it's all about giving. It's all about just being present and sharing and giving. And, that's life. I mean, it's so simple. Sometimes you don't have to say more, you can say less. And that's I'm working on that. It's a practice. Everything is a practice. Doctors practice medicine, lawyers practice law, business is a practice. So when you practice, when you're done practicing, you practice again. That's how you become a master at something. So thank you very much for sharing that. Emily, do you have any other questions for us, or any other things that you want to talk about, or maybe anything else you want us to share?
Let me see. So I think maybe Khalil, you already maybe sort of said this, but like Vince, kind of like, why did you get in, or maybe both of you did, kind of like, why did you get into what you've how did you get into what you're doing right now?
Oh, okay. Vince, do you want to go first, or I've shared a little bit, but there's many whys. But go ahead.
Go ahead, Khalil.
Oh,
if you want to go. Yeah.
Yeah. Firstly, learning from my grandmother, explain, her journey and how she changed, and but also overcame that adversity and went to university and graduated. So that's my inspiration. My father, he's a jack of all trades. So I learn from other people, like what they've done, and then I apply what they've done to my life in certain ways. I can't be them, I can only be me. So my dad, he did a lot of different things in his life, had multiple businesses. He was an entrepreneur, jack of all trades, master of himself. They say that there's that saying, a jack of all trades is a master of none, but that's not the whole saying. It's a jack of all trades is a master of none, but a jack of all trades is better than being a master of one. And so there's many facets to our life, many points of light, angles that we can go upon through and learn upon. And so that's what drives my passion, which is a thirst for knowledge. And then once I learn, I share it. So I've been learning from other great people. I heard Vince mention John Maxwell, great teacher, very prolific person. Somebody else, I forgot the other person you mentioned. I lit up. I was like, what? You met this person? You work with them? That's amazing. And that's how, that I see those connections, and I'm naturally gravitated, say, oh, somebody, I know somebody, let's put all those somebodies together, and then we're all one big body. So that's what got me into what I do now, and it served me well through my life. Anybody can do it. It's just making friends, sharing information, and taking share actions. So I hope that answers your question. And maybe Vince, you want to go and follow up? Sorry.
Sure, no problem. Thank you so much, Khalil. Yes, all of that knowledge and all of that experience really lends yourself to really go through that journey, and coming to that journey and that realization. That's such valuable information and experience to share with the world. So what I began as my journey is that I was working in nonprofit, and I did a 360. So the 360 is where a person looks at you, the company, the board members look at you, do a survey of you, your staff members, your clients, all of those. And I was in charge of 300 volunteers. And I had that opportunity with American Express through Center for Creative Leadership. And I thought I was great. I was a great communicator. I was, I'm an extrovert. I talked to a lot of people. I got 300 volunteers. I got the clients involved, and the volunteers were able to help them. And then when I got there was a huge smack in my face. And that's when I realized I was not a great communicator. They said that I scored low in communicating with the other department heads. And so I had to take a step back, and I worked with a coach from the Center for Creative Leadership, and they bequeathed me a $10,000 coaching package. And I got to learn more about improving my communication. And I thought being disabled, like people had to come to me, but I had to make that extra effort and really be a voice for myself. And also understanding where that person may not understand where that I'm coming from, because, hey, how many people have one leg in the world, right? So when I was really understanding that, I got involved in that. And my coach I actually asked me to get involved with more things in communication. So I got my certification through my master's with conflict resolution. And I also at the same time got my certification in John Maxwell, where he is the leadership and communication guru. And then I got interested when I was doing mediation for the family court system for Hawaii. Like there's something that is happening with these people. So I don't know why I'm not getting through. How can I get through? And that's when I found the Neuroencoding Leadership and Dr. Amen. And I'm also with academies with neuro leadership. So it has to do with a lot of the brain. Brain runs the world, right? Brains really are the lifeblood of all organizations, of each person. So cognitively, and for people that may have the function of the brain that may be affecting them, like say in conflict resolution, anger keeps being the cycle of that person. So that may be part of the brain that's only getting the blood. So I didn't realize that. And that's when I was very objective when working with these cases and said, you know what, I am coming at the place where I need to understand this person first and what may be the barriers for them. And that got me more into delving about more like what other disabilities are there that we don't realize that people have. And I was able to be more empathetic in my mediations, in my facilitations, and giving people the opportunity to speak within those hard conversations, those crucial conversations.
Wow. So you mentioned Dr. Amen of the Amen Clinics, and I actually have crossed his, sort of path through people that have worked with him. The Amen Clinics, he's a double board certified psychiatrist. Okay, that's a big deal. This guy is super smart in chemistry, pharmacology, and the brain. Okay, and so I'm part of a company that uses cannabinoids to help people heal themselves without the THC, because not everybody can handle that part of the cannabis plant. But he basically can you know more, can you tell me more about his clinic and what he does? Because there's another guy he was working with, Dr. Hensling, Dr. Ron, Ruan, who else, just all these, Dr. Ali. There's so many physicians out there that are looking at nutrition and functional medicine in order to heal the body, because we're organic. So I love that. I really like just I listen. I'm like, wait, this is a connection. This is, once you have somebody that's able to connect and give that. That's my goal. I want to be able to say, okay, we have access to this. Let's lower the cost. Let's make it not free, but no cost or low cost. And how do we do so? So that's my big focus, is connecting with philanthropic angel investors and companies, that want to give money away, right? And so that way but how do you make it come back? That's the question, right? Not everyone wants to give it away, especially with the times that we're in right now, but it's not a problem. In the problem, therein lies the solution. So please, if you wouldn't mind, Vince, please share about Dr. Amen. And it's spelled Amen, right?
Correct. It's Khalil. So thank you for that. And I didn't, yes, that connection with the CBD and how it helps an individual, especially when they may have anxiety or other symptoms that may be affecting the brain. So Dr. Amen, so you can anyone can be certified. If you want to know, I can give you the link for becoming a brain health trainer. And the reason why I got involved is my own children have ADHD, bipolar, and all of that. And I wanted to learn more about how I can help them improve their lives, as well as I do have a little bit of ADHD too. And he's called the ADHD doctor, the PTSD doctor, the brain injury doctor as well. And I got involved with that through the Neuroencoding Institute, who is also with Dr. McClendon, and he's a neuropsychologist, and he is under Tony Robbins. And we provide information on how to create a healthier brain, and how it's the physical part, right? Biological. It's also the spiritual part of the person, and as well as what are your goals? There's 4 parts of a person that the Amen clinics look at. And there's about a dozen clinics around the country that you can check out. And they also provide a brain health assessment that I can also drop a link in if you'd like. Thank you, Khalil.
I love it. Yes, this is my wheelhouse. I've been in healthcare for over 20 years. It's all about caring. I've been caring my whole life. And I think that's what we're all here. We're all similar on the same frequency of giving and healing. And we're on the same path. So this is amazing. Thank you, Emily, for inviting me. Vince, please reach out. I actually sent you a request on LinkedIn. So please accept my request humbly. And I love to connect, and I want to get certified. I have so many certifications. I think that's the future of there's a thing called MOOC. I'm into technology as well. Like I said, I was a computer technician. I learned how to build computers and code them and script them, and all the different platforms like Unix and Linux and C++ and all the things. Like, I'm in the Silicon Valley over here in the Bay Area in San Francisco, so I know Dr. Amen has a clinic in Walnut Creek, and it's not too far from where I live. And so I'm a little bit more so I got in a car accident. So that was I had a TBI, which is a traumatic brain injury, and that's from you hitting, being in a car, and when you stop abruptly, your brain bounces around in your head, which is called coup counter coup, which can cause a swelling of the brain. And if the injury is severe, you can have bleeding in the brain. So that's where I've worked in radiology for a while, in CT and nuclear medicine and X-ray and MRI. So I love what Dr. Amen does with the SPECT scans, which is this form of CT that can see the areas of the brain that are affected. But also what he's doing is like saying, here, try this supplement. Let's heal you, and then visualize what it is inside the body. We all, we're electrical people, right? Electromagnetic, right? It's when you start going deeper into science, and the vibrations and the frequencies that are everywhere. I mean, this is deeper science, but it's very simple when you start really thinking about it and sharing it. So this is truly amazing to be here right now and just to tap into more knowledge and more connections. So this has been a great call so far. Thank you so much. Any other questions, Emily? Do you want to what's next on the agenda?
Well, I'm glad you were able to join us today and meet Vince, and that's awesome. I think it's been a great conversation too. But I'd like to and pass it over to Kurt and see what Kurt has to say. Maybe, or did he freeze? Kurt, can Kurt talk or no?
Yep. Should be good. Yeah, I did go through a little bit of a disconnect there, but yeah, I'm on here now. How can I help you, Emma?
I just wanted to pass it over to you and see what you had to say or add or ask or anything like that.
Well, I'm really wanting to jump back to this idea of conflict and, really make that connection here because, when I think of conflict, I think of, the time preceding when an employer I had, fired me. And, it was an interesting situation. I was having health problems, cardiac issues, and I took time off of work to go get a stress test. And when I returned back to work, my coworkers were telling me that I was different. And I'm like, okay, whatever. I don't think I was, but I really think they were different because they were looking at me as now somebody that surprisingly is having known cardiac issues. And I came to find out that one of my coworkers took it to the extent of being concerned about the insurance, that I was throwing the insurance pool off, and that, I'm this extra liability now because our insurance was paying for cardiac care. And I went through an experience where all of a sudden we're being evaluated for productivity, and there's a specific, look at, like the number of orders we're involved with and getting into these comparisons and, really building up a case, that my performance is, like the worst in the office, type of deal. And then, dealing with things even with our customers and whatever, trying to deal with, the process of service with a customer and actually taking it myself. I took it to the point of humor, and I talked about one of the managers over at my customer's business, and that manager took, real issue with it, and it became a customer complaint, and, just kind of built up this whole thing that, one of the managing partners in the family of the ownership, just had that conversation with me that, this isn't working out. Like when I left that day, I was on my way out the office and not coming back. So I mean, I really, look at conflict in the workplace, the marketplace, and with teams, and I really see through different personalities that, conflict gets dealt with in very contrasting ways. And in some cases, it's not dealt with because somebody might have that personality where they don't want to speak up or cause any waves. So when you're working on projects and, you're looking to take direction, when you're with a group, it's very clear, who ends up being the one that their input is what goes forward. And then it becomes a situation where when there's not really merits all time with that person's input being what gets tracked forward, it can create a conflict, whether it's an exposed or a practice or expressed conflict. You can have conflict sitting there, but nobody's dealing with it. You know, you can have that elephant in the room, you know, type dynamic. You know, so Vince, I guess I would really like to pick your brain and give you, you know, the Kurt Roskoff challenge of the day, you know, with your practice and what you've taken care of. Can you really bring this to the forefront a little bit more about, you know, your clients and customers and the type of conflict or even in the inspiration of doing this? You know, what is really the conflict that you're hoping to resolve as people are doing their work?
So I am so sorry that happened to you, Kurt. I applaud you for sharing that. That must have been very difficult. I can feel your frustration when you were talking about it. And my question would be, where was the HR person in all of this? And then if there was anyone that could have advocated for you, especially on the health side, right? If Khalil can also speak to that. If there was someone that was a social worker that could have resolved that for you. And then, yes, this happens so much in businesses, organizations, in government. Government is wrought with a lot of conflict. So my hope, and where conflict comes in, is because there was a lot of miscommunication. There wasn't, like you said, there's not a lot of clarity. There's not a lot of purpose behind it. You have to know the why, and then also knowing the person, right? The what, the how to, and the who. Who is that person, first of all? Where are they coming from? And what can I do to make sure that I'm building that bridge and interacting with them? And yes, there are people out there that will avoid conflict, and we call them the turtles in the conflict mode instrument through Thomas Kilmann. So those are the ones that hide away and deny sometimes conflict, and they don't think if they hide, the conflict will go away. And unfortunately, it just festers, right? If you've gone through that, Kurt, I guarantee you another person that in the next generation or so will also go through that until they can resolve on their processes. And so when I work with the companies, I work in their electronic communication. I see where their emails are coming from, what are their different platforms. And I also work with the group, and I coach each person in the company and see where their communication is, what is really their life purpose, what is their goals. And then I also work with the owner and understanding the owner and where they're coming from. And a lot of times the owner may be only getting that information from that one person that's like their pet student, right? That they're listening to them. Or a lot of times they're just coming from assumption. If they haven't heard a lot of things coming from the staff, then they're going to assume things and they're going to implement things that maybe the staff doesn't like. Or the one thing that I have experienced is when there is harsh criticism that is given, and it's not healthy. It's you're going into psychological safety where people don't feel like they can have that voice in the organization or that company. And Google has done a study, a 4-year study, and Amy Edmondson with Harvard Business School has looked at that study with Google, and she sees that when people don't have that voice in that department or that with the supervisor, then they feel like they can never have a voice, that they can never share, and they can't fail, right? If you want to recognize the failure and you want to improve on what has happened, you don't want to say, oh, well, you're not doing too well, so I'm going to get rid of you. That's a lot of money. People are spending billions and billions of dollars in hiring new people when they can just improve the communication, the training, supervision. Having really great supervision is really important. And improving those processes and those systems in your organization. I've seen a huge change, especially in really high level, high stress companies.
Oh yeah, so I can, you can kind of call that medical gaslighting in a way, because you have providers, and what Kurt was talking to is the financial factor. Like it becomes a different discussion when you're trying to receive care, and then it becomes an issue of payment. And so again, that's why I focus on finance, or having more of giving access to like medical liaisons or medical social workers, like you're mentioning, Vince, because that allows for someone to advocate on your behalf and navigate you through the system, but also sometimes just being present. That's enough for someone that needs support in a support network to have the ability to receive the care they deserve. I mean, like, why do we circumvent the process when that is the process, and involve people in the business side of care? So the company I work for is great. I can't say that it's perfect. I mean, I know there's things that happen whenever, like, I encounter people, I refer them to member services, and there is a process through the company I work for, but I don't own the company. And so that's why I'm creating something similar to what you're doing. So I'd love to, Vince, I'd love to, and also Kurt, everyone here, like, this is amazing. This is like, this is meant to happen. And, the more that we talk about it, the more we can strategize and create something that we're the access point of, and we are the solution. It's just that simple. Once you start building upon something and you connect with other people and you're networking and you're working together, work isn't work. It becomes a way of life. It improves the quality of the life of the individual, of the people that are doing the work, of the communities that these people live in. And money, it's funny. It really is. It's a tool in our life. It's necessary, but it shouldn't be a deciding factor that determines what we receive versus what we can give of ourselves. So thank you for that. Any other questions, Emily, as we go along? And I don't know how much time we have today. I just came in because I wanted to join and participate. So thank you.
Yeah, we have some whole time left. Kurt, did that answer what you're looking for, or do you have anything else to add to the conversation?
Yeah. What I want to add, Emily, is this is going to be fun for you, Emily, because we're going to turn this whole show now upside down, because now we're going to go to the point of elation and celebration and prominence, and really executing who we are and celebrating an individual, and looking at our short little life in terms of when it all started. So Emily, you're going to help us get into the realm of birthday celebration. So today is a holiday for many people. There's an individual who we celebrate that is fortunate to have a birthday today. So everybody can mark their calendars, November 12th. Emily, what's the big deal?
The Kurt's wife, Sue, is a birthday today.
All right, so Emily, who is Sue Roskopf? Who is this person you're celebrating?
Your wife, your lovely wife.
How do you know her? What did she do? How she built her significance?
Okay, so Sue works at Carroll University in Waukesha, Wisconsin. And the like the life biology, like life sciences, right, Kurt? Or right, Sue? Am I getting that right? But I met Sue through Kurt, actually. It was a year and a half, a couple of years ago. And now I'm kind of losing my train of thought. But where exactly do you want me to go? Go, Kurt.
Well, you work with Sue. How do you work with Sue?
Okay, a couple things. Trying to remember which one started first. But Sue and I are both co-hosts of the Happy Neighborhood Project of Wisconsin, Minnesota. Leading that meeting every Tuesday at 1 Central, noon Pacific, 11 Pacific, 2 Eastern. And then the other big thing is helping with leading 15 minutes of music in motion that is at every day at noon Central, or 10 a.m. Pacific. And doing like the Facebook Live with that while Sue leads the motion and music part. And it's been great so far. Two biggest things at the moment that we've been doing together as of late.
Wow. That's how the connection starts. That's how it happens. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and here we are. This is, you
Yes.
know, we're on this live and this podcast, and as Kurt said, he's going to turn it upside down. He's going to make more from it and build within it, and you know, we can do things infinite. So I just yeah, this is great. I mean, all about the network. It's not work when you love what you do, and I hear your passion, and you know, it's a lot to think about, but it's okay. You know, it's one step at a time. You know, one you know, just do it, right? Just do it like Nike. So that's what we're doing. So thank you for this great event, and you know, to anybody who's listening, I just noticed we're on YouTube Live, so please like, subscribe, and share, right? That's one of the things that you always do. As a matter of fact, I met a guy that monetizes YouTube, so there's a way, you know, I have some strategy myself how to draw money from things and give it away. So that's the next goal. So I want to talk about that offline as well. And yeah, just I'll share that I met again Kurt and Emily through the Happy Networking Project, the number 10 co-op in the world, and it continues to grow. I was fortunate to meet Mr. Edwin Edobiri, who did a TED Talk on being a chief happiness officer, which is just about being happy and you know, finding your center and letting the negative go. And I just heard the other day, and I want to share this with everyone when I get a chance to talk to him again. When you laugh, you remember more. So I think it's just one of the greatest things is just when you think of something, be enlightened, think lightly, just laugh a little bit, and you'll have a better experience. You know, even if you don't like it, that's one of those keys to success. You know, laugh inside and be happy, and you'll learn better, you'll feel better, and you'll do more in your endeavors. So thank you again. Anything to add, Kurt or Emily or Vince, anyway?
Happy birthday, Sue.
Yeah, happy birthday, Sue, out to you, to the internet waves.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
It is a national holiday.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I love it. Sue Day.
Yep.
No one's getting sued. We don't, but we all the praise and honor to Sue today.
Well, I guess another sort of thing Sue and I can work on was helping a little bit with the podcast here too. Sue and I kind of work together on the couple of shows that we are doing. So she's actually
Love it.
helping with doing like the YouTube and thing right now too. So
Yep. We'll do it one day at a time, one show at a time. Every life is a show. Yeah.
so Kurt, did you have any?
Kurt looks frozen. I'm looking at the screen and he has this big smile on his face, and it's making me happy to seeing that smile. Oh, there he is. Now he's moving. Kurt, you were frozen in time for a moment there. It was a great smile. There it
Yeah,
is.
frozen on the screen.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it.
All right. So Emily, you want to lead them through the minute to win it section? We want to make sure that all of our viewers get any references in terms of how to do that DIY thing. And Emily, you know what DIY stands for, right?
Yeah. Same. Well, I guess a combination of things. A couple of things. First, if you have any last, if you want to give any like contact information or anything along those lines, in case if somebody listening to this has any questions or would like to get a hold of you about anything. And then if you have any last comments or anything else you want to talk about or anything else you want to bring up. So Vince, do you want to start off with Vince? Anything you'd like to?
Sure. Thank you so much. Mahalo nui loa. I really appreciate you and your heart. And I hope you all have a wonderful Thanksgiving and holiday season. If you follow me on Instagram, Bamboo Shoot High, on Facebook, Bamboo Shoot. I'm also starting on TikTok. I would appreciate a like. If you can, I'll give always a little tip, either on conflict resolution or on brain health training. And it's as simple as that. But I also invite you, I do an appreciation event for everyone that's involved in my company, an online appreciation event that I will have next week, Thursday, 3 o'clock Hawaii Standard Time. I think it's 5 o'clock Pacific time.
Yeah.
I think it's 7 o'clock Central Time. So everyone is invited to that, and they can see that on Eventbrite. And it's called The Gathering, Online Gathering, Giggles, Gratitude, and Growth.
I love it. I love the title. It's over to Khalil.
Yeah, I'm on all socials as my name, and it's a little unique. So it's KAHLIL. My last name is Sullivan, SULLIVAN. I'm on LinkedIn, Facebook, Snapchat, and a partridge in a pear tree. I don't know if that's a new social app, but it will be at some point. And
I don't think I've heard of that one, but okay.
Right, we'll make it. If it doesn't exist, we'll create it. It is almost the day of thanks. I am grateful and so happy to be here with all of you, and wishing all the best in the next season. And we have to bless our food, to keep us alive. But also, I want to say because it's Turkey Day. So sorry. Yeah, that's my call. That's my call. All right. The Jive Turkey. I love it. All right. Thank you so much.
I want to thank Khalil and Vince again for coming on, and to our to Marcus and the Transform Media, the Disability Channel, Zach, and the PAC Channel for allowing this on their platforms and sharing this out for us. But also encourage Vince and Khalil and everybody else tuning in and listening to also go to our social media and subscribe, like, share, comment, interact with all of our social media pages and sharing the links, and encourage everybody to do that. Kurt, do you have anything you want to add?
Just continued appreciation for what this show has been. And if anybody does have any comments, questions, concerns, if we caused any conflict today and you want me to start that process of responding, my phone number is 262-372-1SKI. That's 262-372-1754. And you can email me, Kurt, K-U-R-T, at thedisabilitychannel.us. And with that, a big thanks from the Roscoff family for tuning in today and celebrating with us with Sue's Day. And that'll make it a wrap. We're going to tie this up with a bow, and thanks for your presence.
You guys, until next time, let's stay healthy and happy.
Thank you.